Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Google Pixel 5a and I guess my past experience with the device for the past week that I've been using this phone. So there are many things that I'm going to be talking about, but one of the main things that I will be talking about is going to be the battery life of this phone. One thing I'd like to just say right away is that it is great, and I'll get more into it once I'm done talking about every other thing that I've actually liked about this device. So let's go ahead and begin. So first up is going to be the cameras that I really want to talk about. Cameras, it's an obvious point that everyone actually does talk about for Google's devices, and let me go ahead and just say that this year they are again really nice. They take really nice pictures, and they've actually upped their video quality. Last year when I had the Pixel 4a, the video quality wasn't the best and I really didn't like it, but this time around with the 5a, even though they're still using the same sensor and whatnot, with the Pixel 5, they actually have better video recording capabilities. So I've actually noticed that. I guess they've done something through software probably, because nothing with the hardware has been changed, but software wise, I guess with the new updates and everything, they've actually improved some things with it. So the video recording has been great. I've really enjoyed it. I've actually taken some videos with it, and in those videos I've actually noticed that they've made it better. The quality looks better, and the HDR actually is a lot better than before. Before it really didn't have the color quality as well as before, so when taking videos it wasn't really nice. The colors of some stuff popped up and then some of them were not, and also stability wise when taking the videos it didn't seem really sharp with the even with 60 fps turned on. So this time around, as I said, the video recording is really nice. One disclaimer is going to be that with 4K 60 when recording, I've had a lot of heating issues. I know if some of y'all have actually researched it, there has been an issue with heating, and a lot of people have already reported it with the Pixel 5a. When recording videos at 4K 60, you actually get a lot of heating issues, which is not the best because you can't record too much, especially when you're outside recording. So when I was outside, I couldn't record more than like 2 to 3 minutes because it would get really hot after that point. But other than that, quality wise, it looks great. So if you're looking for a phone with great quality, great picture quality, and don't want to pay too much, this phone is actually a really nice phone. But as I said, keep that in mind that the recording will actually heat up your device, and it'll actually turn off or pause the video when you're recording if it gets too hot. So next up is going to be the display. The display has been really great for me. I've been using this phone a lot outside when I go outside and I'm walking around. The brightness has been really nice. I've been actually able to see everything on my phone even when I have dark mode turned on during the day. I can actually still see everything perfectly. Sometimes here and there it does get a little harder to see if the sun is just glaring right down on the phone, but other than that, outside use case, you probably won't have any issues with the display. But one other thing is going to be the refresh rate of the display. So some people might not actually like the refresh rate, and that's going to be because it's 60 hertz and not 120. I know that this is their A series lineup, and it's pretty normal to actually have 60 hertz on a phone that isn't their premium device. And honestly, it didn't bother me too much. But for some people, if you really do care about the high refresh rate, that actually might bother you because it's not the smoothest when actually scrolling. I've gotten used to it in the past week, but when I go back and switch to like my S21 during the days, a couple days ago, I actually used my S21 again, and it actually gives a big difference. So once you use a 120 hertz phone and you move to this, then it won't be the greatest feeling experience, but as I said, you will get used to it pretty fast. On my 12 Pro, it's still 60 hertz as well. That's a premium device, and I've gotten used to it, and I did also get used to this device. So in that category, it really didn't bother me. But for the people that actually do want the smoothest experience and you want the 120 hertz display, this phone isn't for you. And if you can get around it, this phone is great, but other than that, then it's not for you. So next up is going to be the battery life. So battery life, that's the main topic that I really wanted to talk about today. They've actually amped up their battery sizes from last year by a lot, and that has actually helped me out a whole bunch. So usually I am a high school student, and when I go to school during the day, I would take my S21 or the 12 Pro, and once I was done with the day, I would go with 100%, and I would come back with around like 20 to 30% battery life on both my S21 and my 12 Pro. So it was a pretty low amount of battery. But with this device, I actually went to school, and I've only lost around like 35 to 40% with this phone. So I would have around 60% remaining after I got out, which was actually really interesting because with my other phones, which are premium devices, and the S21 actually still has a pretty big amount of battery. It has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. I've actually managed to get a way better battery life with this. And one of the main thing is going to be the battery size, the refresh rate, and also the processor used. So they're actually using a lower end processor. They're using the 765G, and that will actually use less power when compared to the Snapdragon 888 or the Apple A14 Bionic chipset. So with that in mind, as I said, the chipset is a lower end chipset. It is a budget chipset, but that should be okay for a lot of people. If you're not playing too many games and you're just using it on day-to-day basis, you're going on your social media and whatnot, then you won't and should not have any issues with the battery. I've actually managed to get around a day and a half with my use case. I've actually played a couple games on it and whatnot, and still managed to get a day and a half. So I never tried to use it less than what I would do normally. So if I probably did and turned on all like the battery saving functionality, like power saving mode, bring down the brightness and turning off like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi and whatnot, I could probably get 2 days off of this phone, which is actually really great to know. Charging wise, it's okay. It has its fast charging, it's rapid charging, it's 18 watts I believe, and it's not the best, but it's still okay since you are getting a day and a half of usage with the phone, which is still really nice to have. So that was the main thing that I really wanted to talk about. Battery life is just perfect on this phone. I get that they have to cut off from a couple of things like refresh rate, high refresh rate, the CPU and the GPU, they're lower end, and that's pretty normal since it is a budget phone. It's only $450, and you're getting a battery life which honestly in my use case is better than any other phone I've owned. So I've owned a lot of phones, and what I can say is that this phone has the best battery life that I've ever had on a phone. And if you're going for something that has really great battery life, will I guess manage to do your day-to-day tasks, and you don't care about high refresh rate, this phone is honestly a great phone overall. You will be able to do everything you need to do. Just charge it up overnight if you don't really want to charge it in the morning or like in the afternoon. If you don't want to take that risk, you can go ahead and charge it at night, and you will go through the day perfectly fine without any issues. You won't have to deal with your battery life at all. So you could use your phone normally like you do with any other phone, and this phone will actually last you the whole day, and you will never have to keep a charger with you during the day. So I haven't done really heavy usage on this phone, so I'm not sure if I can actually get it below a day usage, but in my normal use case with my other phones as well, I've actually gotten a day and a half with this. So that's actually really impressive for this phone, and that's one of the reasons that I would actually recommend this to people. It might have a lower end CPU and GPU, but the Snapdragon 765G will actually get you through basically anything you throw at this phone. Maybe some harder game, maybe some like higher level games, maybe like Genshin Impact. I've tried that on my S21, it worked perfectly. I haven't actually tried it on this phone, but you might struggle to play with that game. However, not a lot of people play it. I haven't seen too many people that I know play it. So, and also if you are using this phone for your day-to-day tasks, then as I said, this battery life will be perfect for you, and this phone is one of the best phones that you could get for that price. So that basically wraps up my 1 week usage of this phone. I've actually had a great time with it, as I said. Not many things that actually disappointed me. Maybe the 60 hertz didn't bother me too much, but you could actually put that down as a con. However, for me, as I said, it's not a big deal. So a lot of pros for this phone and very minimal cons, especially with the price of $450 when compared to other phones which are $1,000 now. They might have the higher end GPU, CPU. However, personally, in day-to-day tasks, like when I'm going on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Netflix, as you can see, these are the main apps I actually use during the day. So with these apps, I haven't had any issues, and I've had really nice. I've had a really nice time with this phone. So that's basically gonna wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed this video, and if you do have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. And as I said, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.